Hello everybody, welcome back to my ASMR channel. Today I have my laptop and I'm going to go through every single movie I watched in 2025. I had it as a New Year's resolution this year. I need to sit comfortably because I'm on the floor right now and the lighting is bad, so hopefully I can find a way to lower the brightness because I look like a pale ghost right now, but it's fine. It's like 7 o'clock right now and it's pitch black outside, so I wonder, can you hear my sister screaming at the top of her lungs and running up the stairs? Okay, so on the 1st of January, I was getting down to business. I watched The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, and I gave it 3 stars. The same day, I also watched Hunt for the Wilder People, and I gave that 3 stars. That's a movie from 2016, and my auntie made me watch it. I watched Nosferatu on the 2nd of January. Really? Oh, okay. And I gave that 3 stars, and it's the one with Lily Rose Depp. I went to see that movie with my sister and her friend. I watched 27 Dresses on the same day, and I gave that 3 stars, which is crazy because I love that movie and I did not like Nosferatu. Maybe I should change that. The 3rd, I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And the 4th, I watched Drive, that has Oscar Isaac and Ryan Gosling. On the same day, I also watched Heretic. I'll give that 3.5 stars. And I watched Heretic, the horror movie that came out with, what is his name? He's in Love Actually. He's in so many things, but I can't remember his name right now. On the 5th, I watched Anyone But You, and I gave that 2 stars. And I also watched the Peanuts movie. Didn't rate that. I watched The Grand Budapest Hotel, which I gave 4.5 stars on the 7th. On the same day, I watched All of Us Strangers, and I also didn't rate that. On the 8th, I watched Bridget Jones's Diary, and I gave that 4 stars. And I watched the second one, and I gave that 3 stars on the day after. Okay, I'm going to stop with the dates because this is obviously getting confusing. So then I also watched 500 Days of Summer, 5 stars. The Nightmare Before Christmas, 4 stars. I gave Kiki's Delivery Service 4 stars. Failure to Launch, 5 stars. And 5 stars to The Bling Ring. I watched Baby Girl, didn't even rate that. Uncut Gems, I gave it 3 stars. Pearl, which I gave 3 stars. And Miraculous World London at the Edge of Time, which I gave 5 stars. I watched Lightyear, which I gave 2.5 stars. Presents, which I gave 4 stars. A Man Called Otto, which I gave 3 stars. My Fault. Oh, this is February now. So February I watched A Man Called Otto right after I read the book. My Fault, 5 stars. Monster High, 13 Wishes, 5 stars. That was a rewatch, so that kind of doesn't count in my watching new movies kind of thing. I watched A Single Life, which is like a short story on Disney. I watched Scream 6, I believe. It's like VI. Is that 7? Maybe? And I watched Ready or Not, which I gave 4 stars. In March, I watched Mufasa, which I gave 2.5 stars. We went for my friend's birthday. Picture This, which I gave 4 stars, with the new one with Simone Ashley. I watched Mickey 17, which I actually loved. It was like, wow, amazing movie. 5 stars. Loved it. And I watched Treasure Planet, which I gave 4 stars. Okay. I also watched Bratz Pampered Pets, which I rewatched and I still gave 5 stars, so it's just a good movie. And I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I gave 2.5 stars because clearly I did not understand it. I think you have to be locked into that movie, and I was not locked in. I gave 3 stars to The Nanny Diaries. I watched a Minecraft movie, which I didn't even rate. I don't know why. Maybe I forgot. I watched Black Mirror USS Callister Into Infinity, which is like the second episode, like a continuation of that episode, the USS Callister, and I gave that 4.5 stars. I really liked that. I watched Thunderbolts in May, and I gave that 3.5 stars. I feel like I'm so bad. I'm like already losing track. April, I watched Nanny Diaries, Minecraft movie, and Black Mirror. Now we're in May. Yeah. I watched Thunderbolts, which I gave 3.5 stars. My Happy Marriage, which is a show, and I gave that 3.5 stars. The Life List, which I gave 4 stars. Crazy Stupid Love, which I gave 3.5 stars. Oh, 4.5 stars. The Return of Jafar, 3 stars. I'd never watched that before. The Road to El Dorado, 4 stars. First Daughter, 3.5 stars. Legally Blonde, 5 stars. And Another Simple Favor, which I gave 4 stars. This is kind of good for me. Like May, so we're like almost halfway through the year. And I've already only rewatched 2 movies, which means everything else I've watched has been new. So good. So June, I only watched 2 movies. I think I didn't even have exams. Don't remember why. But I watched Fear Street, Prom Queen, and How to Train Your Dragon, the new one. 4.5 stars. The new Fear Street, I gave 0.5 star. It was so bad. Okay, July, I watched Captain America, Brave New World, 4 stars. The new Snow White, which I gave 2 stars. I'm kind of sick as well. Trying not to cough. Little Miss Sunshine, and I gave that 4 stars. Your Fault, which I gave 2.5 stars. Palm Springs, which I gave 2 stars. Superman, the new one, which I gave 5 stars. I loved that movie. I think I'm doing this in a really confusing way now. Wait. No. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm doing this right. Why am I getting so confused? No, I think I'm right. In July I watched Superman, I think. For some reason I really remember watching that like in August, like the very end nearly. Okay, but after that I watched He's Just Not That Into You, which I gave 3 stars. 28 Days Later, which I gave 4 stars. That's a great movie, but it looks like it's shot on like an apple, like literally an apple. They were like, let's make this look really cool, and they were like, apple. I don't know what the fuck they're trying to do. I watched Cruel Intentions, which I gave 3 stars. K-pop Demon Hunters, I gave that 4 stars. Charlie's Angels, I gave 3 stars, like the OG one. I watched The Ugly Truth, which I gave 5 stars. And I watched the Lego Batman movie, which I gave 5 stars. In August, I watched Aquamarine, 5 stars. Before I Go to Sleep, 3.5 stars. I think I watched that with my family in Scotland. I watched What a Girl Wants, which is I gave 5 stars. Oh my god, wait, really? Yeah, August was a long month, jeez. Picture This. This is like the one with Ashley Tisdale, and I gave that 3.5 stars. I did actually really like that, and I watched it with my friend, and we had chips from the chipper, so it was really good. Parasite, which I gave 5 stars. I can't believe I've never watched that movie. I watched The Map That Leads to You, which I gave 3.5 stars. Five Nights at Freddy's. I rewatched this, and I gave it 5 stars. In September, I watched Barbie Princess Charm School, gave that 5 stars, and My Fault in London, which I gave 3.5 stars. And Barbie Princess Charm School was, I watched it with my friend, my roommate. It was like our second night staying in our new apartment, I think, so good way to start the year. In October, I watched Mickey, Donald, Goofy, the Three Musketeers, and I gave that 5 stars, and I've actually never watched that. And I watched it my friends that I made on Erasmus. We also watched The Hangover, which I gave 4 stars, and Miss Congeniality, which I gave 5 stars. In November, me and my roommate watched Dead Poets Society, which I gave 5 stars. It was so sad. And my sister came to visit, and we watched A Merry Little Xmas, and 2 stars. But I love those movies. I love a Hallmark movie. And we finally made it to December, so I watched Zootopia, 5 stars. I've never watched this before, and my friend signed into his Disney, so I watched it on his, and he said it was fine, and I loved it. Oh my god, I need to watch the second one. I watched Love Actually for the first time, and I gave it 5 stars. I watched Not Another Teen Movie, which I gave 3 stars. Wake Up Dead Man, which I gave 3.5 stars. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which I gave 5 stars. The Family Stone, I gave 4. And Anniversary, which has Dylan O'Brien and the girl from Bridgerton, and I gave that 4 stars. That was a crazy movie. We watched The Family Stone and Anniversary on Christmas. The day I'm filming this is 27th of December. And we watched Anniversary to finish the night, and we were like, so not a feel good. We all just kind of agreed on it because it was so hard to find something to agree on. And then we were like, we should not have agreed on that movie. Yeah. I loved Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I can't lie. The first one's more nostalgic purposes, but the second one is actually creepy. And I'm trying to think of shows I've watched this year. I finished The OC, which I really liked. I wish there was a letterboxd for TV shows, or if it had TV shows on it, because it would help keep track. I think I started watching The Boys as well. Never finished it though. But yeah, I don't think this is all the movies I will watch in 2025. I think there will be a few more, because I want to watch Frankenstein still, because I read the book and I really like the book. It's really weird and I love it. And is there any other movies I want to watch? I want to watch Emily in Paris. I haven't watched a new season, but yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great Christmas. Sleep well or enjoy the rest of your day. I'm sending you lots of love. Sweet dreams.